Welcome to Bayes University, Abuja, Nigeria, with a legacy of excellence and a vision for nurturing future leaders. Bayes University is in a league of its own. We're all about our people, processes, and technology.
Bayes is one of the highly rated universities in Nigeria in terms of product quality standards.
We don't just produce graduates, but groom people into employers of labor.
And it has made us understand that learning is all about three things. We learn, we unlearn, and we relearn.
Bayes University Hospital offers a range of specialized services equipped with the latest technology, manned by a team of trusted professionals. And now, our vision extends beyond our walls with the Baba Ahmed University in Kano following our lead. Join us at Bayes University and invest in your future today.
Bayes University is the institution that you will get the best value for money education in Nigeria.
Bayes University. Learn to live.
House of Representatives Minister trade words over alleged 1.5 billion naira fraud. On the foreign scene, Israel tells everyone in Gaza City to leave. A Royan Cathedral spire on fire as building evacuated. In sports, Nunes, Uruguay players fight Colombia fans after Copa loss. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I'm Muya Bofwegwe. The Nigeria Labour Congress says it will press for 250,000 naira minimum wage during a planned meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the State House today. The head of public affairs of the Congress, Benson Upa, stated that Labour would insist on its 250,000 naira proposal during the session with the president. Labour leaders were invited to a meeting with President Tinubu in furtherance of the president's promise to hold more consultations with stakeholders on the minimum wage. Kebbi State government has reiterated its commitment to continue to promote culture and tradition to strengthen the unity of the people. The State's Commissioner for Information and Culture, Yakubu Kebbi, stated this at the first Unity Cultural Festival organized by the Ministry of Information and Culture at Haliru Abdul Stadium in Birnin Kebbi. Kikelamo Okere completes the report. We'll bring you those details in the course of our bulletin. Let's turn to other stories for you. The Military High Command says it has put in place measures to forestall plans of the enemies to target some critical infrastructure in the country. Addressing journalists on the operational activities of the troops in the various theaters of operations, Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, said security agencies responsible for securing critical infrastructure and facilities have been placed on alert. Let's join Kikalamo Okere for details. Sincere apologies for that technical hitch. We'll take a quick break on News Express. When we return, we'll bring you more stories. We urge you to stay with us.
Get ready for it. Inside Today brings you issues relating to family, peer pressure, drugs, substance abuse, societal and topical issues making rounds. Join Jumain Manson on Global Television Monday to Thursday and a repeat every Friday. Time 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Don't miss out.
Are you a food lover? Do you care about your health and nutrition? Are you interested in exploring the diverse culinary traditions from around the world? Then look no further. Introducing Lunch Global on Global Television, a show that takes you on a delicious journey through the world of food, nutrition, and diet. So, whether you're a seasoned foodie, a health enthusiast, or simply curious about the world of food, Lunch Global has something for everyone. Tune in Mondays to Fridays and let your taste bud take you on a journey of flavor, culture, and discovery on Lunch Global. Bon appetit!
Time check. It's midday. Then it's Midday Discourse. Midday Discourse is a program that covers trending local and international news, current issues, and human-related topics. Join Samuel Odi weekdays 1 p.m. on Global Television. The discussion starts here.
It's time for sports' biggest moments on Global Television. The headlines, scores, breaking news, and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses, and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns, and victories. Talk sports with the king of sports, Anthony Momodu. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out.
Hello, children. Gather around, let me tell you a story. Do you know that stories have a way of captivating the minds of children, bringing fun and imagination to teach them morals? Join Sharon Ajay as she takes you to explore the thrilling and exciting world of storytelling.
I'll be sharing with you our next interesting story.
Tune in every Saturday on Global Television, time 5:30 p.m.
Well, thank you everyone for staying with us here on News Express. We return to our earlier story now, where Kebbi State government has reiterated its commitment to continue to promote culture and tradition to strengthen the unity of the people. The State's Commissioner for Information and Culture, Yakubu Kebbi, stated this at the first Unity Cultural Festival organized by the Ministry of Information and Culture at Haliru Abdul Stadium in Birnin, Kebbi. Kekalamo Okere completes the report.
Culture has colossal potency for unity and social cohesion among diverse groups in the society. As such, the administration of Nasir Idris of Kebbi State says it will incorporate promotion of culture among its policy trusts. Kebbi State Commissioner for Information and Culture, Yakubu Ahmed Binin Kebbi, says Governor Kaura Gwandu has placed premium on developing culture for social cohesion, unity and economic growth, hence his support to the Ministry of Information and Culture to stage the first cultural festival of unity in the state.
The culture that we have too, the vast culture, very rich, and we first the need at the ministry level for the first time in the history of Kebbi State to organize independently a mini cultural show that will feature all the ethnic, well, some of the ethnic groups that we have in Kebbi State. And the idea is to show the culture, enjoy it, and explore possibilities of uniting the state. And about 13 ethnic groups. That tells you that we are looking for unity in diversity, and I think it's going to be a yearly affair from now on.
The permanent secretary in the ministry, Seidu Buhari Wara, urged participants to use the platform as a veritable tool for peace and unity in the society. He further urged artists and performers to strive to instill virtue of tolerance through their performance into farmers and others to enhance economic fortune and peace.
Let me use the medium to urge the participants to see the forum like this as a veritable tool through which peace unity, and diverse cultural heritage is transmitted and promoted.
To make it known that, inshallah, this event is going to be sustained. We are collaborating, my office is collaborating with the Honorable Commissioner of Information to see that peace and unity, particularly the propagation of government programs and activities, are carried out in the state.
Among the groups that showcase cultural talent were Fulani, Zambara, Dikaki, Kambari, Tiv, Igbo, and Yoruba, to the delight of spectators. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Thank you, Kike Lomo. The Military High Command says it has put in place measures to forestall plans of the enemies to target some critical infrastructure in the country. Addressing journalists on the operational activities of the troops in the various theaters of operations, Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, said security agencies responsible for securing critical infrastructure and facilities have been placed on alert. Again, Kikelamo Okere brings us more.
Major General Edward Buba says the military is keeping up the pressure through ongoing operation in 5 active theaters across the country, with the northeast and northwest having the highest level of intensity. He noted that the operations are complex as troops are engaged in fighting in difficult terrain and adversaries that adopt various forms across the country.
That they even get women in their camps for their pleasures. All these add to the complexities of our ongoing operation. In essence, the terrorists have a support base of collaborators, and we must fish out these collaborators. That is the reason I keep repeating that winning the war without the support of the people is close to impossible.
In the South-South zone, the director says the troops denied the oil theft of over 1 billion naira while destroying 18 dugout pits, 30 boats, and 40 storage tanks.
Troops neutralized 187 terrorists during the week, even as we arrested 183 persons. Troops also arrested 43 perpetrators of oil theft, as we rescued 109 kidnapped hostages across the country during the week.
The Military High Command pledged to continue to fight for the safety and the security of citizens while safeguarding the nation. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
President Bola Tinubu has approved a gathering of African descendants in Abuja. The event, scheduled for October 24, is expected to draw over 2,000 participants from across the globe. The homecoming event, organized by the African Descendants in Diaspora Union in partnership with the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, aims to strengthen ties between Nigeria and its diaspora community. Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ola Olukoyede, has led staff of the Anti-Graft Agency on a walk against corruption across the country. The anti-graft corruption walk, which has become a constant thing for the Commission, took place in Abuja, where its executive chairman and directors were in the lead. The walk, which is to commemorate the 2024 AU Anti-Corruption Day, also happened simultaneously in states like Sokoto, Benue, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Oyo, and other states. The Supreme Court has granted financial autonomy to local governments across the country by disconnecting the payment of their allocation from their respective state governments. The Apex Court, in its pronouncement in the lawsuit filed by the federal government against the 36 state governments, ordered the federal government to henceforth pay allocation meant for the 774 local governments directly to their respective accounts. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has called on the 36 state governors and Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, to immediately account for and return the local government funds which they have collected over the years. Serap's appeal came in the wake of a Supreme Court ruling that declared the practice of state governors and the FCT minister withholding and utilizing funds intended for local governments unconstitutional. In a statement signed by Serap's Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare, the organization said it applauds the Supreme Court for the groundbreaking decision, one it believes will end the persistent alleged misappropriation running into several trillions of federal allocations meant for local government development. A former Minister of Power, Salem Mamman, has collapsed today outside the courtroom at the Federal High Court in Abuja. Counsel to the former minister, Femi Ate, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, told Justice James Omotosho when he was called to take his plea that his client, whose plea was fixed for today, collapsed outside the courtroom prior to his case being called. However, he made it into the courtroom. The ex-minister stepped into the dark with part of his clothes drenched. House of Representatives Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development and the Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy Ohaneye, were engaged in an open confrontation at the investigative hearing into the alleged diversion of 1.5 billion naira contract funds. Reports say that the committee had summoned Kennedy Ohaneye to appear before it and explain the whereabouts of the money already released. However, a drama ensued when the committee asked the minister to give account of how monies meant for contractors paid by the Accountant General's office were expended. In a response, Ohaneye said although the 30% of the total sum meant for the contractors was paid to her ministry, she cannot give account of how it was expended, on account of, according to her, the fact that the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu had advised her to mind her business. You're watching News Express, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on StarTimes, channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using our Global TV NG and other handles as you now see on your screen. When News Express returns, Rhine Cathedral spire on fire as building evacuated. We'll bring you details of this and more after this break. Do stay with us.
Global TV concept is the emerging, brand that everybody must watch. So I subscribe, and I'm prescribing that we must all be ready to begin to watch Global TV.
So keep watching Global TV, especially for updates on agriculture, food, commodities, and without food, there is no great nation.
So please watch Global TV because it's going to change your life.
This is Global Television, bringing you a live broadcast of News Express. Thank you so very much for staying with us. On the foreign scene, United States President Joe Biden will give his first press conference since his debate disaster against Donald Trump in a pressure cooker moment that could seal the fate of his re-election bid. The eyes of the world will be on the 81-year-old at a NATO summit as he tries to calm growing calls for his Democratic Party to step aside over his age and health. The White House has dubbed it a big boy press conference, and Biden will be under severe pressure to show he can handle what has become a rare unscripted moment in his presidency. The spire of a famous Gothic cathedral in the French city of Rouen is on fire, with firefighters at the scene battling the blaze. Images showed black smoke billowing from a canopy and scaffolding at the top of the building, which around 150 meters, equivalent of 495 feet tall. The fire's origin is unknown at this point, Mayor Nicolas Mayer-Richonneau said, adding that all public resources are mobilized in response. Long-range U.S. missiles are to be deployed periodically in Germany from 2026 for the first time since the Cold War, in a decision announced at NATO's 75th anniversary summit. The Tomahawk Cruise, SM-6 and hypersonic missiles have a significantly longer range than existing missiles. That's according to U.S. and Germany in joint statements. Such missiles would have been banned under a 1998 treaty between the U.S. and former Soviet Union, but the pacts fell apart 5 years ago. The Israeli military has told all residents of Gaza City to evacuate south to the central Gaza Strip amid intensified operations in the north. Leaflets dropped by aircrafts instruct everyone in Gaza City to leave what is described as a dangerous combat zone via designated safe routes, marked as two roads that lead to shelters in Deir al-Balah and al-Zawaidah. And back in Africa, Kenya President William Ruto has announced the dismissal of almost his entire cabinet and consultations to form a broad-based government following widespread anti-government protests. He said the move affects all ministers, including the Attorney General, but excluded a Prime Cabinet Secretary and Foreign Minister. Ruto noted that he decided on the dismissals upon reflection and listening keenly to what the people of Kenya have said, and after a holistic appraisal of the performance of his cabinet and its achievements as well as challenges. In the business, the United States Agency for International Development and the Federal Ministry of Power have signed a memorandum of understanding to secure Nigeria's commitment to electricity sector reforms, market transparency, liquidity, and expanding access to affordable power. Both parties announced this in a statement issued in Abuja by the Power Ministry. The understanding was signed by the U.S. agency and Nigerian Mission Director Melissa Jones and the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Power, Mahmoud Maman, who supports the implementation of a 115.2 billion naira U.S. government's graft-funded technical assistance program intended to support power sector development and reforms in the country. The Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, PENGASAN, and Petroleum and Natural Senior Staff Association have jointly demanded an investigation into the alleged sabotage by the international oil companies, IOCs, to undermine and destabilize the operations of Dangote Refinery and Petrochemicals Company. The two associations made the call in Lagos via a letter addressed to President Bola Tinubu. In ensuring that the operation of the Dangote refinery is not hampered, the unions further charged the federal government to take decisive action to safeguard the refinery for the benefit of the nation, saying protecting the nation's assets is their collective responsibility. Nigerians have appealed to the federal government to evolve a means of putting an end to the continuous and arbitrary increase in feed prices. This is coming on the heels of the ongoing food crisis affecting the daily lives of many Nigerians. Global TV's Queen Agaba, who went on a market survey, now brings us details.
Inflation and economic challenges have driven up the prices of basic food items. As a result, millions of Nigerians are experiencing food insecurity, with many struggling to afford and access the nutritious food necessary for a healthy life. Conducting a market survey with emphasis on comparing prices from what it was to what it is now, traders lament the rising food prices, disrupted supply chains, and many economic challenges that make feeding and doing business difficult.
Things are very expensive. Even before, you can buy gari 200 naira, mudu 200 or 150, but now gari is 1,500 naira. I don't know what this country is happening. Even sugar, now even to feed is the problem to us. even our children, even school fees. What is happening in this country? Things are very expensive. Even before you can buy gari 200 naira, mudu 200 or 150, but now gari is 1,500 naira. I don't know what this country is happening. Even sugar, now even to feed is the problem to us. Even mangi now, mangi they are selling before 10, 15 naira, sometimes 5, 20 naira, but now one mangi is 120 naira. Everything are very expensive. Before you can buy meat 300 naira, you can buy 500 naira. Now you cannot buy even meat 300 or 500 naira or 1,000 naira.
Price of cow now is increasing all the time. Cow we used to buy 500,000 before. Now we buy cow 1.2 million, 1.3 million to kill, and one cage is 6,000 naira each one cage now, and our customers are complaining.
Traders beckon on the government to pay urgent attention and coordinated efforts to mitigate its impact on the vulnerable population.
Look at fuel now, as it increases every month. Our president said we should have patience. He will do something. We are wanting to see what he's doing. Rather, he's increasing the fuel every blessed day. Imagine gari, poor man food. I didn't know whether our president are eating gari or what. Why the gari is so high like that? By this hour, we are buying gari 1,500 for a mudu. So a time will reach now, a cup will be 1,500.
Before we sell vegetable an amount of 50 naira, now from 50 naira to 100 naira, from 100 naira to 200, which is not fair. If you notice now, a price of spaghetti is now high. Before, a price of spaghetti was 14,000, 13,000. Now you cannot even afford it in that short amount again.
Nigerian traders are calling on the federal government to take proactive measures to curb food crisis in the country, particularly unregulated prices and some economic policies biting hard and greatly affected by many. For Global Television.
Thank you, Queen Agaba, for that brilliant reporting there. We'll continue to follow market trends for you in the face of this economic turbulence that Nigeria is grappling with. In a decisive move to promote food security in Nigeria, the Federal Executive Council has approved the purchase of 2,000 tractors, 4,000 disc plows, and 1,200 tractor trailers, among other equipment, under the National Agricultural Mechanization Program. Presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga took to X, formerly known as Twitter, to outline the outcomes of the FEX meeting in Abuja, saying that the equipment will be supplied by Astrite DMCC, a firm which is also planning to set up assembly plants for some of the country's installations. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, says it will make an official announcement when it is ready to take the earlier reported $2 billion crude-backed loan. The company's group chief executive officer, Melekeri, noted that the NNPCL is in talks for another oil-backed loan to boost its finances and allow investments in its business. And that's all we have for you on News Express here on Global Television. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Remember that at top of the hour, Anthony Momodu will be here to bring you the desk.